Tonight, as you close your eyes and let your thoughts drift away, imagine the edge of a world where the sky meets the sea. The light fades slowly, and the air grows soft. The last color of sunset melts into deep blue, and everything becomes quiet. The world seems to breathe in calm rhythm, and you can feel it too, in your chest, in your mind, in the slow pulse of your heart. The waves move in gentle patterns, rising and falling like the breath of a sleeping giant. The air smells faintly of salt, and a cool mist touches your skin. Each drop feels light, like a whisper from the sea telling you to rest. The ocean has waited all day for this moment, the moment when the noise fades and peace takes over. Far away, the horizon disappears. There is no line between water and sky now, only one endless space of calm. The stars begin to appear, one by one, as if the ocean is calling them down. You can almost hear the sound of light, soft, invisible, but comforting. It fills the darkness with peace. You stand at the edge of the shore, and the sand feels warm under your feet. Tiny grains shift slowly, shaped by thousands of years of quiet waves. The earth beneath you feels alive, but calm, steady and old, like it remembers every tide, every moon, every whisper of wind that ever passed by. Listen to the rhythm of the waves. Each sound carries a secret story, one about time, patience, and stillness. When the water retreats, it pulls away your worries. When it returns, it leaves peace behind. Over and over again, the same movement, the same calm. The sea teaches you how to breathe. You take a deep breath in. The air moves through you softly, just like the tide. You exhale, and with it, the last bit of tension leaves your body. Your shoulders drop. Your mind becomes lighter. The ocean takes the noise, the thoughts, the busy parts of your day, and carries them away, far into the open water, where they dissolve like mist. The night grows deeper. The moon rises slowly, silver and quiet. Its light falls across the surface of the sea, making it shimmer like silk. Every small wave catches the light for a moment before letting it go. It feels as if the ocean and the moon are talking to each other in a secret language, one made of light and water. Their voices are soft, but you can feel them in your heartbeat. The world around you slows down. The stars above do not rush, they simply shine. The waves do not hurry, they simply move. The ocean does not demand, it simply exists, vast, calm, endless. You belong to that rhythm now. You are part of the same stillness, the same gentle pulse. Somewhere beneath the surface, deep below where light can reach, life moves slowly. Tiny fish drift through the dark. The water is heavy, but kind. It holds everything, every sound, every memory, every quiet dream. You imagine that your thoughts sink there too, floating like small glowing shells, settling in peace. The more you listen, the quieter it becomes. You realize that silence is not empty, it's full of gentle sound. The distant rush of water, the faint hum of air, the quiet beat of your own heart, they all blend into one slow lullaby. The sea is singing to you, not in words, but in feelings. Calm, safe, eternal. The darkness is no longer something to fear. It's soft now. It feels like a blanket. You close your eyes, and you can still see the shimmer of the moon behind your eyelids. You can still hear the slow movement of the sea. Everything outside becomes distant, unimportant. Only this moment remains, this still, endless moment between you and the ocean. And as you breathe again, slower this time, you feel the same rhythm retain. In, out, like the waves, like the tide, like the heartbeat of the earth itself. The sky, the sea, and you, all breathing together. The night is not empty. It's full of life resting, full of motion that does not rush, full of light that moves softly through water. You let yourself become part of it, weightless, safe, quiet. The deep ocean begins to whisper its first secret. Peace is not something you chase. It's something that comes when you stop moving. It's already here, in the air, in the water, in the space between each breath. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Imagine sinking slowly beneath the surface of calm blue water. The world above fades little by little. The sound of the wind disappears first. The noise of waves becomes softer, distant, like a memory fading into silence. Light begins to change. It bends and weakens as you go deeper. The bright blues turn to soft grays, then to deep shades of indigo. Each layer of water feels heavier, thicker, quieter. The sun's glow becomes a ghost, reaching down but never quite touching the deep. You move gently, surrounded by nothing but calm. The ocean is holding you, weightless and free. Down here, time seems to slow. Every movement happens like a dream, slow, gentle, patient. Tiny bubbles rise through the water, drifting upward like little thoughts returning home. They don't rush, they just float. The deeper you go, the quieter it becomes. There is no sound of the world anymore, only the steady rhythm of your own breathing. The surface feels far away now, but that distance feels peaceful, not lonely. It's as if you've entered a world made for stillness, a place where the ocean itself is asleep. Creatures move here without sound. Fins glide through the dark water. Scales shimmer for a moment and fade again. Nothing chases, nothing hurries. Life flows slowly, in gentle patterns that never end. The water grows darker, and you start to notice that darkness is not empty. It's full of softness, full of calm energy that moves like slow music. The light that once danced above your head is gone now, replaced by a deep blue silence that stretches forever. There's comfort in that silence, a silence that feels alive, like a giant breathing slowly around you. Somewhere far below, the ocean floor waits, unseen. Between you and that floor is endless space, quiet, patient, untouched. It feels like floating in time itself. You can almost feel the age of this water, how it has existed long before you, long before the moon, long before words were ever spoken. Your thoughts begin to quiet too. The deeper you go, the fewer thoughts remain. You stop thinking in sentences and start feeling instead the softness, the weight, the peace. The silence doesn't ask for anything. It just invites you to rest. There is no hurry in the deep ocean. Every creature, every current, every drop of water moves in perfect rhythm, slow and gentle. Jellyfish drift with no effort, glowing faintly as they move through darkness. Tiny fish float near coral walls, their bodies swaying in the current. Even predators here move slowly, gracefully, as if they've learned that peace is stronger than speed. The deeper you sink, the more you understand that silence is a language. The ocean speaks it fluently. It doesn't need words to say, "You are safe here." It just surrounds you with stillness until you begin to believe it. You close your eyes, and even in the dark, you can sense the beauty of this hidden world. Every heartbeat feels slower. Every breath feels softer. The pressure of the water feels like a blanket, holding you in place, keeping you safe from everything above. There are no storms here, no waves, no noise, only calmness that stretches forever. You are not falling. You are floating. You are not lost. You are resting. And as the last hint of light fades completely, you realize that peace does not come from brightness. It comes from surrender, from letting yourself drift in silence, from trusting the darkness to hold you. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Imagine standing at the edge of a quiet shore. The air is soft, the wind gentle, and before you stretches a calm sea that never truly sleeps. You listen, and there it is, the endless voice of the waves, rising and falling in a rhythm older than time. Every wave begins far away, born from the touch of wind on open water. A breeze moves across the sea surface, and the water answers, not with noise, but with motion. It lifts, folds, and travels, carrying with it the heartbeat of the earth itself. Even the smallest wave begins as a whisper, a quiet promise that the planet is breathing. The waves move like slow breathing, in and out, forward and back. The water never stops, but it never rushes. It keeps its own rhythm, patient, eternal, gentle. The sea knows how to wait. It knows how to move without hurry, how to rest while flowing. If you listen closely, you can feel that rhythm inside yourself. Your breath begins to match it. Your chest rises with a wave, falls with a wave. The ocean teaches your body how to relax. Each sound is soft and full. The wave approaches the shore with a low sigh, touches the sand, and then slips away, taking a little weight from the world each time. Another follows, then another. The pattern never ends. It's a language without words, yet you understand it completely. It says, "Be still," Breathe. Let go. As the wind continues to move above, it shapes the surface of the sea. Some waves grow taller, some fade before reaching land. Yet each one is beautiful, each one part of the same calm conversation between air and water. It is as if the ocean listens to the sky and answers in slow motion. You can almost imagine the wind whispering secrets to the sea, and the sea replying with long, slow breaths. The sound of the waves fills the air, steady and comforting. You could listen forever and never hear the same note twice. The rhythm changes slightly with each movement, but it always returns to peace. You realize that this sound, this gentle rise and fall, has been heard for millions of years. The same song touched the shores before anyone walked the earth. The same rhythm rocked the first ships, lulled the first travelers, comforted the first souls who looked out to sea and felt small yet safe. Now you are part of that rhythm. The waves move through you, washing away thoughts one by one. Every rise carries your mind upward into light. Every fall brings it down into calm. Your worries float out to sea, where they fade into foam and disappear. The air tastes of salt and peace. The water glows faintly in the moonlight, a silver shimmer across dark blue. You notice that even the smallest ripple has purpose. Even the tiniest wave carries energy, gentle, endless, kind. It's as if the planet itself is speaking in slow motion, telling you it's okay to rest. You close your eyes, and the sound grows closer. The waves are no longer outside you. They move within you now, a slow, perfect rhythm that quiets your thoughts, slows your heartbeat, and eases your body into stillness. The sea and the wind breathe together. The world breathes with them. And you breathe with all of it. The air moves in. The air moves out. Peace drifts in. Worry drifts out. Everything is connected. Everything flows. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Imagine sinking once more beneath the calm ocean surface. The world above fades into darkness, but below, something magical begins to appear. Out of the deep blue silence, tiny lights begin to shimmer, faint at first, then brighter, like stars waking one by one in the water. These are the secret lights of the sea. They don't come from the sun or the moon. They come from life itself. The creatures that live in the deep carry their own soft glow, tiny lanterns of peace floating through the dark. Each one flickers gently, never harsh, never sharp, just small pulses of living light, like the slow heartbeat of a dream. You see a jellyfish drifting past, its body clear and delicate as glass. Inside, soft light moves like breathing, blue, green, silver, fading and glowing again. It doesn't swim quickly. It simply drifts, letting the current carry it wherever it wishes. Around it, hundreds of other jellyfish float too, their light swaying in rhythm, turning the dark sea into a glowing ballet. Farther down, the sand glimmers faintly. Tiny plankton rest there, waiting for movement. When the water stays, they awaken, each one releasing a spark of blue light. The sea floor becomes a sky. When a fish passes, the lights ripple behind it like the tail of a comet. Every motion leaves a shining trail before fading back to calm. Bioluminescence, that's the quiet magic that makes the ocean glow. But you don't need to think about the science of it. You can just feel it, the warmth of it, the wonder. It's as if the ocean itself is dreaming, and these lights are its thoughts, flickering softly through the dark. Imagine floating among them. The water around you glows in slow motion. Each time you move your hand, the water answers with light, tracing soft lines that fade away like smoke. Every breath feels connected to the glow, as if you're breathing stars. The creatures here never hurry. Tiny fish shimmer for a second, then vanish. Long, slender eels twist gracefully, their bodies shining like ribbons of moonlight. Far in the distance, a larger glow moves, perhaps a deep-sea squid, carrying its own constellation of lights along its skin. The deep ocean becomes an endless sky turned upside down. There's no sound here, only light. The darkness doesn't feel cold or lonely. It feels gentle, like velvet. The glowing creatures are the only voices, speaking through color and rhythm instead of words. Each flicker feels like a whisper, saying softly, "You are not alone here." You float through the sea of stars, weightless and calm. The light touches your face, your arms, your thoughts. Everything heavy drifts away. You realize that the sea doesn't just hold life, it holds beauty that never needs to be seen to be real. Even in the deepest, darkest water, something always glows. Something always keeps shining. The ocean's night sky stretches forever. The glowing creatures rise and fall like dreams, fading and returning, never gone, never still. You drift through them, surrounded by quiet wonder, wrapped in silver blue peace. It feels like time has stopped. The lights pulse slower and slower, and your breath follows. In, out, like the glow itself, you fade into stillness. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Imagine yourself far beneath the quiet waves, in the open darkness where only the largest and calmest beings move. The water is endless here, soft and wide, and somewhere in that deep stillness, a low, gentle sound begins to hum. It starts as a faint vibration, not a voice you hear, but one you feel. It moves through the water, through your chest, through your bones. It is deep, slow, and full of warmth. It is the song of a whale. Whales drift through the ocean like floating mountains, calm and ancient. Their bodies are vast, yet their movements are soft. They do not rush. They glide, weightless, through the dark, carried by the steady rhythm of the sea. Their tails move like long, patient waves, pushing them forward without sound. Around them, tiny lights flicker, plankton glowing briefly as they pass, and the sea becomes a quiet theater of grace. The song grows stronger. One whale calls to another across miles of water. The sound bends and travels, reaching far beyond sight, echoing through valleys of the deep. Each note is low and slow, shaped by breath and memory. These songs can travel thousands of miles, across oceans and continents, touching others who answer in their own soft tones. The whales are talking, not with words, but with feeling. Each sound carries peace, longing, and love, messages of connection that no distance can break. The ocean listens. The world listens. Even the sand on the sea floor vibrates with the sound. It is as if the whole planet is humming in reply. You can imagine these giants moving together, far apart yet always aware of each other. Families of sound floating through darkness. A mother swims beside her calf, the two of them rising slowly toward the light before sinking again into calm blue. When they breathe, the surface breaks with a quiet sigh, and mist rises into the air like a soft cloud. Then they sink again, back to silence. Their songs are more than music. They are the voice of the living ocean, ancient, kind, and full of wisdom. Some whales remember songs passed down through generations, melodies that have drifted through the water for centuries. Each one adds its own note, its own small change, like a gentle heartbeat added to a never-ending lullaby. When you listen to them, you can feel something stir deep inside you, a calm recognition, as if some old part of you remembers the sound. It feels like comfort. It feels like home. The whales do not hurry. They do not fear. They trust the water to carry them. They trust the earth to hold them. You breathe with them now, slow and steady, the same rhythm, the same peace. The sound of their songs fills your mind like a low, soothing pulse. It doesn't push away thoughts. It softens them, turning them into ripples that fade quietly away. In this moment, the ocean feels alive, not just with movement, but with emotion. You can sense its kindness, its endless patience. The whales are its voice, and through them, the sea speaks softly to you. Rest now. You are safe here. You are part of this calm. The song fades into distance. The last echoes melt into silence, but the feeling stays, a warmth that lingers in the dark. The giants keep drifting, their slow hearts beating in rhythm with the sea. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Imagine sinking beneath the calm blue water until you reach a place where light no longer travels. Down here, the ocean hides a secret world, a world of mountains, ridges, and valleys that no one sees, yet they shape the earth quietly, patiently, without sound. Beneath the waves lie sleeping giants. They are not made of flesh or bone, but of stone and fire. These undersea mountains rise from the ocean floor, reaching toward the surface, taller than any mountain on land. Yet they rest in silence, covered by endless water, unseen but always alive. You drift over their dark shapes. Their slopes are wide and ancient, formed over millions of years. You can almost feel their steady breath beneath you, a pulse so slow and deep it feels like the heartbeat of the planet itself. The ridges stretch across the seafloor like vast scars of creation, dividing oceans, guiding currents, shaping continents. Sometimes, in the farthest parts of the ocean, a small light flickers deep below. It is not from creatures this time, but from fire, quiet, glowing lava escaping through cracks in the earth. Even in darkness, the planet is alive. You can imagine a slow exhale of warmth rising through the cold water, like a sigh in sleep. These volcanoes do not roar. They whisper when they wake. They move gently, letting heat and minerals flow into the sea. Life gathers around them. Small creatures, tiny crabs, worms, and fish, all finding comfort in the warmth. The mountains give without noise, creating new worlds in silence. You drift higher and look down again. The ridges stretch endlessly, glowing faintly with soft minerals, like the veins of the earth. Each curve, each peak, tells a story of time too long to imagine. No storm can reach this deep. No sound from the world above can disturb their calm. Here, only stillness exists, strong, patient, eternal. These underwater mountains remind you that strength can be quiet. They do not rise to be seen. They do not move to be noticed. Yet, their presence shapes everything. The tides, the islands, even the air you breathe. The ocean floor is their great cathedral, and time is their prayer. You imagine standing upon one of these hidden peaks, surrounded by water so vast it feels like space. The silence is complete, but it is not empty. It hums softly, like distant thunder slowed to infinity. The rocks beneath your feet have known fire, darkness, and rebirth, yet now they rest in peace. Even when the earth trembles, the sea forgives it. The mountains rise slowly, crumble slowly, breathe slowly. Nothing rushes here. Everything happens in the rhythm of eternity. The more you think of these hidden giants, the more your own thoughts slow down. You feel the same weight of calm, the same quiet strength. You realize that, like the mountains, you don't have to move quickly to be alive. You can simply be steady, patient, and still. Far above, the surface glimmers faintly with moonlight, but down here, the darkness feels like safety. You are surrounded by the earth's oldest peace, a calm that has lasted longer than memory. The mountains sleep, and the sea guards them. Together they remind you that creation can be silent, and rest can be powerful. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Imagine floating downward into the ocean's quiet twilight. Above you, sunlight fades, dimming a little more with every heartbeat. The bright blues turn to deep purples and then to soft, endless gray. It is neither day nor night here, a world between light and darkness, where time moves slower and life glows gently in the silence. This is the ocean's twilight zone, a place where the last rays of the sun dissolve into nothing. The light reaches down as far as it can, stretching its golden fingers through the water, but soon even that glow is swallowed. Around you, everything becomes calm and shadowed. You can't tell where the water ends or where the night begins. It all blends together, like a dream without edges. You begin to notice tiny glimmers in the dark, faint, mysterious flashes that appear and disappear like drifting stars. These are living lights, made by creatures that have learned to shine where the sun cannot reach. Some sparkle blue, others shimmer green or pale white. Their glow is soft, never blinding, and it floats through the water like gentle fireflies of the deep. A small fish passes nearby, its body lined with tiny dots of light that pulse slowly, like a heartbeat. It moves gracefully, each motion calm and certain, guided only by its own glow. A jellyfish drifts past, its long arms trailing ribbons of soft luminescence that pulse in time with invisible music. Deeper still, strange shapes move, creatures that look like whispers given form, gliding without sound, carrying light in their skin as if their souls are shining outward. In this world without sunlight, there is no rush. Every movement is slow, patient, and deliberate. The creatures here have no need to hurry. They live in the rhythm of darkness, a rhythm that feels peaceful, endless, kind. The water moves like silk around them, carrying their light from one quiet corner to another. The deeper you go, the more you realize that this darkness is not empty. It's full of life, quiet, glowing, balanced life. Every small spark means something. Every faint glow has purpose. Together, these lights paint the sea in gentle strokes, like stars scattered across an underwater sky. Sometimes a sudden wave of light appears, spreading through the water in a glowing cloud. Tiny plankton awaken all at once, glowing in reply to a touch or current. The ocean responds like a living being, aware, breathing, dreaming. You can almost feel its heart beneath you, beating slowly in the deep. The stillness of this place makes you feel light too, as if gravity no longer matters. You float in darkness, but it feels safe, soft, and warm. The world above seems far away, but that distance feels peaceful. The sound of the surface, the noise of thought, all fade until there's only this, the gentle flicker of life glowing in silence. Even in places without light, the ocean finds a way to shine. It does not give up its beauty. It transforms it. The darkness becomes a canvas, and every creature becomes a small miracle of glow and grace. You take a slow breath, and it feels as though you are breathing in the calm of the deep, the patience of the fish, the softness of the water, the kindness of the night. Everything moves quietly, together, in perfect peace. The ocean's twilight zone reminds you that even in the darkest places, there can be light. It doesn't have to be bright. It only has to be gentle. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Imagine yourself rising slowly from the deep darkness toward a quiet lagoon, where the ocean softens and the world becomes still. The water grows warmer, clearer, and lighter. The waves that once roared far out at sea have gentled themselves into ripples, moving like calm breath against the shore. You find yourself floating in a shallow lagoon, surrounded by coral and sand that glow faintly beneath the moonlight. The water is smooth, like glass, broken only by tiny ripples that glisten as they move. The air smells of salt and life, soft, sweet, clean. You hear the smallest sounds, the faint tapping of a crab's claw against stone, the quiet rustle of water brushing against coral branches, the steady whisper of the tide pressing gently against the rocks. At night, the coral reef rests. The bright colors that dance in daylight now fade to soft shades of silver and pale blue. Fish settle into their tiny homes, finding spaces between coral arms and waving plants. Some sleep while gently drifting, their fins moving only enough to keep them steady. Others rest completely still, swaying slightly with the water's motion, like leaves in a breeze. Everything is calm here. Everything is breathing slowly. You watch the moon reflect on the surface, a perfect silver circle trembling with each ripple. Light bends and dances across the coral, turning the lagoon into a living painting, shifting, glowing, and peaceful. Beneath the surface, small sea anemones close their soft arms, curling inward like hands folding in sleep. Even the smallest creatures rest now, trusting the night to protect them. The water presses softly against the rocks, over and over, never harsh, never loud. Each wave arrives with the same quiet rhythm. Touch, retreat, return. It feels like the sea is whispering to the land, saying good night again and again. You can almost hear words in the sound, slow and kind. Rest now. You have done enough. Be still. In this peaceful place, time feels like it has stopped. The stars hang low, reflected in the calm water, so close they seem to float beside you. The world above and the world below become one, the same reflection of peace. You breathe with the tide, in and out, soft and slow. The water around you matches your heartbeat, a quiet rhythm that belongs to both sea and sky. You drift closer to the edge of the lagoon. Smooth rocks rise from the water, cool to the touch. When the tide moves, it presses against them gently, making a sound like a sigh, a sound that has existed forever. It's the same voice that spoke to ancient shores, the same calm that has lulled countless creatures to rest. You listen, and it feels like the earth itself is breathing beside you. The coral reef sleeps, the fish dream, the ocean hums softly in its slumber. Everything here exists in balance, the kind that only happens in stillness. You can feel that same peace flowing into you. Every muscle loosens. Every thought slows. You realize that peace is not something you must find. It's something that waits quietly for you to notice it. The night deepens, but the lagoon remains calm, shining gently beneath the stars, breathing softly against the rocks. It doesn't ask for attention. It simply is. Quiet, eternal, kind, Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Imagine gliding above a great underwater city, not made of stone or metal, but of living coral, glowing softly beneath the water's calm surface. The sunlight filters down in soft ribbons, touching every curve and corner of this quiet, breathing world. It is a city without noise, without walls, without rush, a city built by time and patience. The coral reef stretches in all directions, a maze of color and gentle shapes. Towers of coral rise like ancient temples, their edges smooth and bright. Between them, soft plants wave slowly, as if they are greeting you as you pass. Tiny fish move in streams through the coral streets, glowing gold, blue, and pink, their scales catching the light like drifting jewels. Every creature here knows its place, and everything moves with soft rhythm, calm and certain. As the sun fades, the reef begins to rest. The colors dim, not vanishing but softening, like a dream taking over from waking life. Corals, though they seem like stone, are alive. Tiny creatures live inside each branch, each wall, each tower. As night comes, they close themselves gently, folding inward, saving their energy. The entire reef breathes slowly, together, in perfect harmony with the water. The ocean current flows gently through the coral valleys, carrying food, air, and calm. Each small movement keeps the reef alive, a silent heartbeat shared by millions of lives. The coral does not move quickly. It does not chase or flee. It grows one breath at a time, building beauty through patience. If you stay long enough, you can almost feel it breathing, the slow rhythm of life that never stops, even in sleep. Tiny creatures drift by, shrimp, snails, and small fish seeking safety among the coral arms. They move softly, not to wake the reef. The moonlight reaches through the surface and brushes the coral tips, turning them silver and pale blue. It feels like a quiet dream the ocean is having, a dream filled with color, life, and endless stillness. The coral city never truly sleeps. It simply changes its rhythm. In the day, it shines. At night, it glows from within. Some parts rest while others wake. Tiny plankton rise from the deep like drifting snow, feeding the coral and the fish that live there. The water is full of soft movement, full of life too gentle to disturb the peace. You float among them, moving with the current, feeling the water carry you through arches and over coral bridges. The reef feels alive all around you, breathing, whispering, dreaming. Every shape tells a story of time, years upon years of slow, patient growth, each new layer built upon the old. The reef has seen generations of tides, moons, and storms, yet it remains calm, strong, eternal. You watch as a small coral polyp opens again, reaching its tiny arms into the water, catching food that drifts by like stars. It closes slowly, satisfied, resting again. The ocean cradles it, the same way it cradles you now, softly, safely, endlessly. Above, the surface shimmers with silver light, but down here everything moves at the pace of dreams. The coral cities hum quietly beneath the waves, each breath a gentle reminder that life doesn't need to rush to be beautiful. The reef sleeps, but it is never still. It lives in a perfect balance of motion and peace, growing even as it rests, just like your mind, floating here, calm and open, between waking and sleep. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Imagine sinking once more beneath the calm ocean, deeper and deeper, until you reach the hidden places where the sea floor begins to glow. It is quiet here, darker than night, stiller than dreams. Yet from the cracks in the earth, soft clouds of warmth rise like breath. The planet itself is alive, and this is how it breathes. Far below, the ground is not hard and cold. It moves and shifts gently, full of hidden energy. The earth's crust is like a giant shell, and beneath it flows heat, a quiet fire that never goes out. In some places, the ocean floor opens just slightly, and that warmth escapes. Streams of hot water rush upward, meeting the cold sea in long, twisting shapes that look like smoke. These are hydrothermal vents, the Earth's underwater lungs. As the warm water rises, it carries minerals in lightless color, soft silver, golden dust, dark clouds that curl and fade in the deep. Around these vents, life gathers. Strange creatures, pale and patient, live in the warmth. They do not need sunlight. They feed from the minerals in the vent breath, finding energy in the quiet chemistry of the deep. Even in the darkest part of the ocean, life finds a way to glow, to grow, to continue. You can imagine the sound, not loud, not violent, but a steady, ancient whisper. It's the sound of the earth exhaling after a long, slow breath. The heat rises through cracks that have been there for millions of years, shaped by pressure and time. The vents sigh softly, creating warmth where no sunlight reaches. The water around them shimmers gently, like the air above a flame. Tube worms and small shrimp drift nearby, moving slowly through current. Their bodies reflect the faint light of the vents, glowing softly in the dark. It feels as if you're floating above a secret fireplace hidden deep within the sea, not burning, not dangerous, just quietly alive. If you could look closer, you would see the minerals swirling like tiny stars. Iron, sulfur, and salt mix together in slow spirals, painting the water with invisible color. The heat makes the water dance. It rises, cools, and falls again, a gentle cycle, like the ocean's breath returning to the earth that made it. You realize that everything, even the planet itself, has a rhythm of rest and motion. Just like you breathe in and out, the earth does too. The vents are its soft sighs, releasing the quiet energy that has lived inside for so long. The sea listens, wraps around the warmth, and carries it outward, spreading life and peace through the deep. You float above this hidden world, feeling its slow pulse. It doesn't rush, it doesn't force. The planet knows how to rest while it creates, how to breathe without noise. Every exhale from the vents is a reminder that even great power can be gentle. The warmth touches the cold water, and balance forms, two opposites meeting, blending, creating calm. You can almost feel that balance inside yourself, the warmth of life meeting the coolness of stillness. Together, they make peace. The earth keeps breathing below you, slow, steady, endless. The water hums softly in response. You float there, listening to a song so deep it feels like silence. And as you listen, you begin to breathe with it, the rhythm of the ocean, the rhythm of the earth, the rhythm of rest. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Imagine the sea under a quiet sky, silver with moonlight. The waves are calm now, whispering against the sand. Far above, the moon hangs still and bright, watching over the water. Yet though it looks silent, it is not. It is pulling, softly, lovingly, moving the whole ocean in slow, endless rhythm. The tide is the ocean's heartbeat. It rises and falls with perfect grace, pulled by the moon's invisible hand. When the moon climbs high, the water follows, lifting gently, reaching toward its light. When the moon drifts away, the tide relaxes, falling back, resting once more. It has done this forever, long before the first voice, the first dream, the first night. You can imagine it now, the sea breathing in and out beneath the stars. The sound of the water is slow and steady, a lullaby written by gravity itself. The pull is soft, but it moves everything, the smallest shell on the shore, the deepest current in the sea. It is a quiet power that connects earth and sky, turning their distance into music. If you listen closely, you can feel it in your own body. Each wave matches your breath. Each rise and fall mirrors your heart. The rhythm of the tide and the rhythm of life are the same, calm, gentle, and endless. The moon hums a song of light, and the ocean answers in movement, a dance that never stops, never hurries, never breaks. On some shores, the tide travels for miles, sliding over sand with the patience of time. In quiet coves, it moves softly, touching the rocks, then slipping away again. Even when no one is watching, it continues, steady and sure. It doesn't need to be seen to exist. It moves simply because it must, because it loves the moon, and the moon loves it in return. You picture the moonlight glimmering across the sea, each wave a reflection of the sky above. The water stretches and sighs, pulled forward, then set free. The world feels balanced, every movement in harmony, every sound blending into stillness. Even deep below, the tide can be felt. The entire ocean sways in slow unison, like one giant breath shared by the planet. Whales drift with it. Corals feel it, send shifts gently beneath it. Everything listens to this ancient pulse. It is a sound of time, not the ticking of a clock, but the quiet repetition of peace. The moon's pull is never harsh. It is tender and constant, like a gentle hand guiding a child to sleep. Gravity hums through the universe like a soft song, holding the earth in its embrace, cradling the sea, and through it, cradling you. When the moon fades behind a cloud, the rhythm continues. The ocean does not forget. It keeps breathing, keeps listening, keeps moving in its slow circle of love and light. You realize that you too are part of that motion, every heartbeat, every breath connected to the same invisible rhythm that turns tides and stars alike. The night grows still. The sky glows faintly silver, and the ocean's voice becomes softer, slower. You can feel it inside you, the gentle heartbeat of the earth, the calm pull of the moon, the peace that never ends. The tide rises once more, kisses the shore, and falls away again. It's the universe reminding you to breathe. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Imagine the open ocean at night, wide, calm, and endless. The surface glows faintly beneath the silver light of the moon, but far below, in the quiet deep, another kind of music begins to rise. It is low and smooth, ancient and slow. It doesn't rush or shout. It hums softly through the water, stretching across miles and miles of sea. It is the voice of the whales, the ocean's language of love and memory. The sound begins as a single note, deep and long, almost like the earth itself is sighing. Then another note joins it, softer, lower, answering from far away. The water carries the sound farther than air ever could, through valleys, along ridges, across oceans. Some say these songs can travel half the world, finding others who listen in the silence of the deep. The whales do not hurry. Each sound is made with care, as if they are choosing not just notes, but feelings. Their songs move slowly, wrapping themselves around the sea like ribbons of sound. To listen to them is to hear time itself stretch, each tone lasting longer than a heartbeat, each pause holding more peace and silence. You can imagine a great blue whale gliding through the water, its body huge but its motion gentle. The light from above fades as it dives, and the darkness folds around it like a blanket. Then it sings again, a sound so deep it feels more like touch than hearing. You can feel it vibrate through the water, through your body, through your thoughts. Some whales call for hours, sending their voices into the wide unknown. Others listen, waiting, then answer in kind. The ocean becomes a vast conversation, wordless but full of meaning. The sounds overlap, stretch, and echo. Together they form a slow, endless melody that the sea remembers even when it stops. The song travels past coral mountains and quiet plains of sand. It drifts through forests of seaweed, brushes past glowing plankton, and touches everything it meets. The ocean listens carefully. It doesn't hurry the sound. It lets it move at its own pace, carrying the emotion gently, letting it breathe. You can almost hear the patience in their music, the space between the notes where calm lives. The whales are never rushed, never anxious. They sing to connect, not to fill the silence. They remind you that sound can be both strong and soft, that a voice can be peaceful and powerful at the same time. In their song, there is no loneliness. Even across vast distances, they are together. The echoes reach one another, changing slightly each time, weaving a quiet net of sound that ties the ocean's heart together. The whales know they are never truly alone. The sea always carries their voices home. You listen to the echoes fade into the deep. Each one becomes softer, slower, until the sound is no longer something you hear. It's something you feel. It moves through you like a calm tide, washing away thought after thought, leaving only peace. The ocean song becomes your own rhythm now. Every breath matches the slow rise and fall of sound. In, out, the water, the whales, and your heart all beating together. Quiet, steady, eternal. Even when the singing stops, the silence hums with its memory. The deep water keeps the music, holding it like a secret. And somewhere far away, another whale begins again, continuing the lullaby of the world. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Imagine yourself descending far below the reach of sunlight, where even the memory of daylight fades. The water grows colder, thicker, heavier, and then, suddenly, everything becomes still. This is the abyss, the deepest part of the ocean, where silence is endless and darkness is complete. Yet even here, life quietly thrives. Down in the abyss, the world moves at a different pace. There is no rush, no chase, no noise. The creatures who live here are made for peace. Their lives unfold slowly, gently, in rhythm with the deep. Their movements are graceful, almost like dreams drifting through dark water. Each motion seems to last forever. A giant squid glides past, its arms flowing behind it like long ribbons of silk. It does not fight the water, it becomes part of it. Far away, the faint glow of a small fish flickers, lighting the darkness for only a second before fading again. It doesn't shine to be seen. It shines to survive, to speak softly to others who understand its light. Some creatures rest on the seafloor, slow, still, ancient. Strange starfish stretch their arms across the sand, while translucent worms weave delicate shapes into the silt. Others drift just above, their bodies so light they barely touch the water. They live in a world without sound or light, guided only by the gentle pull of the current. The abyss seems endless, but it is full of quiet beauty. Every living thing here is perfectly designed for calm. They do not need to hurry. There is no reason to. Time moves differently in the dark. A single heartbeat can last a lifetime. A single breath can be enough for hours. The creatures here understand patience more deeply than any surface being ever could. You imagine a small jellyfish floating upward, glowing softly in the blackness. Its light is faint but steady, a fragile beacon in a sea of shadows. Around it, particles drift, tiny flakes of life falling slowly from the world above, the ocean's quiet snowfall. The creatures of the abyss feed on this gentle rain, accepting what comes, needing nothing more. Even the predators here move with grace. There are no fast attacks, no chaos, only slow dances between light and dark. The deep-sea anglerfish waits, motionless, a soft lantern glowing in front of her, a small promise in the emptiness. When she moves, it is almost invisible, a quiet gesture made only when the moment is right. The water presses in from all sides, but it doesn't feel heavy. It feels protective, like the deep is guarding its secrets. The darkness is not frightening. It is peaceful, a soft, endless blanket that hides everything harsh, everything loud. Hey, the world is calm beyond imagination. You can almost feel yourself becoming part of it. Your breath slows. Your heart moves to the same rhythm as the deep. The silence around you feels full, not empty. It's filled with presence, the quiet life of the abyss, ancient and undisturbed. These creatures have lived here for millions of years, untouched by light, untouched by noise. They are reminders that life can exist even in the darkest places, slow, beautiful, and at peace. They do not fight the dark. They live within it, letting it cradle them like sleep. As you float in this soft, endless black, you understand what the abyss truly teaches, that peace does not need light. It only needs stillness. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Imagine a quiet sea under moonlight, still and wide, stretching beyond sight. Beneath the surface, a shadow moves with slow grace, a sea turtle gliding through the calm. Its shell glimmers softly in the dim light, green and brown, smooth from years of gentle travel. It does not rush. It does not fight the current. It simply drifts, peaceful and free. The turtle's eyes close as it floats, carried by the soft pull of the ocean. It has traveled thousands of miles, crossed endless tides, and now it rests, suspended between worlds, neither sinking nor rising. Its slow heartbeat matches the rhythm of the waves, steady and calm. Around it, the water hums quietly, a song only the sea can sing. In this stillness, time disappears. The turtle breathes slowly, drawing in air before letting it out in silence. Each breath feels like a small memory of sunlight, a soft reminder of life above. Then it sinks again, deeper into peace. The current moves gently beneath its shell, rocking it like a cradle, guiding it through layers of blue that grow darker and cooler with depth. Other turtles drift nearby, all resting in their own quiet spaces. Some tuck themselves under coral arches, others float mid-water, their bodies swaying in the rhythm of the sea. Their eyes are closed, but they are not asleep in the way humans sleep. They are simply resting, half in the world, half in a dream. The ocean carries them the way wind carries clouds, weightless, calm, eternal. You can imagine what they dream about. Perhaps they remember their long journeys, the beaches where they hatched, the warmth of sand, the scent of salt carried by wind. Perhaps they dream of open water stretching forever, the moon shining like a silver coin above them. Or maybe they dream of nothing at all, only the feeling of floating, the pure stillness of being. The sea around them is quiet, but not empty. Tiny fish move in gentle patterns, their scales catching the light like stars beneath the surface. Plankton glow faintly in the distance, painting soft trails through the dark. Every movement is slow and careful, as if the whole ocean has agreed to whisper while the turtles sleep. You drift beside one now, close enough to see the slow rise and fall of its chest. The turtle's flippers move slightly, adjusting its balance. The motion is small, almost invisible, like the movement of breath in a dream. It seems to know exactly where it is meant to be, held by the water that has always known it. Above, the moonlight ripples faintly across the surface, and the reflection shimmers down through the water, wrapping the turtles in pale silver. The ocean looks endless, but it feels like home. Every wave, every sound, every current is familiar, a lullaby sung by the earth itself. As you watch, one turtle begins to rise. Slowly, peacefully, it drifts upward, closer to the surface. It takes one soft breath of air, then sinks again, back into the gentle darkness. The rhythm repeats. Rise, breathe, rest, drift, like the beating of a slow and steady heart. The sea turtles remind you that peace is not always stillness. Sometimes it is movement, soft, unhurried, natural, a flow that never breaks, a journey without fear. You float there with them, feeling the same calm they do, safe, supported, surrounded by endless blue. The current carries you, and you let it. There is nowhere else to be, nothing else to do. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Imagine the ocean stretching before you, calm and endless beneath the moon. Its surface glimmers softly, each small wave folding into the next, never the same, yet always familiar. Beneath that moving skin lies something ancient, a memory deeper than time itself. The ocean remembers everything. Every sound, every breath, every whisper that has ever touched its surface still lingers somewhere in its depths. When you listen closely, you can almost hear it. Not as a voice, not as words, but as a feeling, slow, low, and eternal. The sea has seen everything. The birth of continents, the rise of storms, the quiet falling of stars reflected on its surface. It has held ships and dreams, joy and sorrow, all carried within its endless motion. Yet it stays calm. It never clings to the past. Every wave that rises lets go as it falls, teaching you that even the greatest forces can forgive. The water remembers in motion. When the wind touches it, the waves answer. When the rain falls, the drops become part of the whole. Every movement is recorded, not in lines or numbers, but in rhythm and feeling. A wave born thousands of miles away might reach another short days later, still carrying the breath of the wind that made it. The sea never forgets, but it never holds on tightly. Its memory flows freely, turning grief into calm, chaos into peace. Beneath the surface, the currents move like thoughts, invisible, ancient paths that circle the planet. Warm water rises, cold water sinks, and together they keep the world alive. Every drop has traveled through countless forms, clouds, rivers, tears, rain, ice, and back again. It has touched every corner of the earth, every living thing. The ocean carries those moments quietly, mixing them together into one great, peaceful memory of life itself. You imagine that if the ocean could speak, its voice would be soft and low, full of patience. It would tell you that it remembers your footsteps in the sand, your reflection in its waves, the sound of your laughter carried by the wind. But it wouldn't cling to them. It would smile and let them drift away, keeping only the feeling, the warmth, the kindness. The ocean forgives the world again and again, each day, each tide. Sometimes storms pass over it, wild winds, crashing waves, restless noise. The ocean lets them rage, but afterward, it always returns to calm. It smooths its surface again, as if saying, "It's all right. You can rest now." The sea never stays angry. It absorbs, it releases, it heals. As you float in its memory, you begin to feel that calm inside yourself. Your thoughts move like small waves. They rise, they fall, they disappear. Nothing stays forever, but nothing is truly lost. Every feeling you've had, every sound you've heard, every dream you've imagined, they've all become part of the same vast flow. The ocean has carried love and loss, creation and silence. It holds the history of the earth in its rhythm. Yet after everything, it remains gentle. It reminds you that peace isn't the absence of memory, it's the acceptance of it. The sea remembers without pain, forgives without effort, and continues to move endlessly. You breathe with it now. In, out. The same rhythm the tides have followed for 1,000 ages. The water carries you, soft and steady, holding every memory without judgment, without fear. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Imagine the sea after a long and restless storm. For hours, the wind had howled, the waves had risen high, and the sky had roared with thunder. But now, everything is still. The storm has passed, and the ocean, once wild and loud, is quiet again. The waves, which once crashed in anger, now move softly, folding into one another with slow grace. The surface at once churned with white foam is smooth, silver under the soft light of dawn. The air feels cool and new, washed clean, almost sweet. You take a deep breath, and it feels as if the world has begun again. The sea breathes too. Each small wave that touches the shore feels careful, gentle, like an apology whispered to the sand. The water presses against the rocks in soft sighs, the same rhythm it's known forever. The chaos has ended, but what remains is not silence, it's peace. A deep, knowing quiet that fills everything, from the horizon to your heartbeat. The sky, once dark with storm clouds, begins to open. The first light filters through, golden and soft. It touches the surface of the water and spreads slowly, painting the ocean with calm color. Seabirds return, their cries distant and light, like tiny notes in a song that has found its rhythm again. You watch as the sea smooths itself, wave by wave, forgiving what just happened. The ocean doesn't hold anger. It doesn't remember fear. It lets the storm move through it, then lets it go. That is how the sea survives, by release, by renewal. It reminds you that even the strongest storms end in stillness. Under the surface, everything returns to its quiet order. Fish move carefully again through clear water. Sand settles back to the seafloor, finding its old patterns. The coral reefs, brushed by gentle current, begin to sway in calm rhythm. The ocean restores itself not through force, but through softness. You can almost feel the peace spreading outward. The horizon stretches wide and open, and the air carries a faint scent of salt and rain. Every drop of water, every gust of wind, feels refreshed, as though the storm's chaos has been turned into something pure. The earth feels lighter. The world feels new. As you float in this calm, you sense the lesson the sea teaches, that peace is not the absence of movement, but the quiet balance that comes after struggle. Even when life feels turbulent, even when waves rise high and winds roar loud, calm always returns. The sea always finds its stillness again. And so can you. You breathe with the ocean now, in and out, the same rhythm that returns after every storm. Your mind, once full of thoughts like crashing waves, begins to settle. The noise fades, the light spreads, the calm deepens. You realize that peace is not something you must chase. It finds you when you let go. The sea hums softly, its voice low and comforting. The waves whisper along the shore, carrying away the last traces of the storm, carrying away everything heavy and tired. The sky opens wider, the light grows warmer, and the world sighs in relief. Everything is forgiven, everything is calm. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Imagine yourself floating in the soft, endless blue of the ocean, calm, warm, and alive. The water holds you gently, the same way it has held life since the beginning of time. Before there were forests or rivers, before there was breath or birdsong, there was the sea, vast and dark and full of quiet promise. The ocean is the earth's first cradle. Every creature that walks, flies, or swims once began here, hidden in its embrace. In the beginning, there was only water and light, warmth and patience. From that stillness, tiny sparks of life appeared, single cells so small they could barely be seen. They floated together, drifted apart, and learned how to live in rhythm with the waves. Slowly, softly, the ocean taught them how to grow. You can imagine those early days, the sea glowing with sunlight from above, tiny forms swirling in the current, multiplying quietly, breathing for the first time. The water was warm then, full of minerals and energy from the earth itself. Every drop carried possibility. Every wave was a lullaby that rocked new life into being. The ocean became a womb, vast, protective, and endless. Within its arms, the first creatures learned how to move. Some crawled along the sand, some floated in light, and some sank into darkness, exploring the quiet deep. The sea gave them food, safety, and space. It was mother, home, and teacher all at once. Even now, after billions of years, that memory remains in every living thing. The salt in your blood, the rhythm of your heartbeat, the flow of your breath, all of it echoes the sea. When you listen closely, you can still hear its pulse inside you, the quiet reminder that you were once part of it. The ocean does not just surround life, it lives within us, ancient and eternal. As you float in thought, you imagine the ocean's slow heartbeat, the rise and fall of tides, the long rhythm that never breaks. Each wave is an echo of creation, each ripple a memory of the beginning. You are drifting inside the same water that gave birth to everything. It feels endless because it is. The same sea that once touched the first living cell still moves today beneath the same stars. The ocean remembers every stage of life, from the first spark of movement to the quiet hum of whales, from coral gardens to silver shoals of fish, from the smallest plankton to the largest being on earth. It has carried all of them, protected all of them, watched over every cycle of birth and rest. Even now, when you float in the sea, you return home. The water feels familiar, like something you've always known. It holds you gently, supports your weight, forgives your motion. You do not need to fight to stay above it. You only need to trust it. The sea carries you the way it carried the first life, with patience, warmth, and love. The ocean's darkness is not empty. It is full of quiet comfort. It doesn't demand or rush. It waits. It creates. It protects. Just like a mother watching over her sleeping child. You breathe slowly, matching its rhythm. The sea moves beneath you, calm and eternal. The cradle that began all life still rocks gently, never stopping, never tiring. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Imagine the deepest part of the sea, where the world is quiet and vast. The water here is dark, heavy, and full of mystery. Yet even in this stillness, great shapes move slowly through the shadows, gentle giants of the deep, drifting as if caught between waking and dreams. A giant squid glides past, its long arm flowing behind like ribbons of smoke. Its eyes, wide and calm, seem to see through darkness itself. It does not rush or hunt in panic. It moves as if time has slowed, each motion soft, patient, certain. The deep water welcomes it, wrapping it in silence. Its glowing spots pulse faintly, marking its path like stars moving across an unseen sky. Not far away, a whale drifts through the endless dark. Its size is impossible to measure, vast, weightless, powerful yet calm. Each movement of its tail sends a slow wave through the water, a heartbeat you can almost feel. The whale hums a low note, long and deep, a sound that travels farther than any other voice on earth. It's not a cry. It's a song, one the ocean remembers. The note stretches, softens, and fades into forever. Far below, a shark glides through the stillness. Its body is built for motion, yet here, it does not chase. It moves like a dream, slow, steady, without effort. Its fins cut the water silently, leaving only a faint shimmer behind. The shark does not sleep as we do. Its rest is in the rhythm of movement, a quiet drifting, a balance between life and calm. These giants share the same space, the same peace. They do not disturb one another. They move together in the stillness, guided by instinct, by memory, by the deep's eternal calm. The water carries in the way air carries clouds, softly, endlessly, without resistance. Light is rare here, but the sea glows in its own way. A flash of blue from plankton, a shimmer from the scales of passing fish, a faint glow from a squid's tentacle, each flicker a reminder that even in darkness, there is beauty. The giants pass through this glowing, dust-like travelers in a slow, silent dream. The ocean floor lies far below, unseen, but you can sense its presence, ancient, steady, patient. It holds these creatures, supports them, and watches them drift through the years. For every giant that moves above it, there's a story, one of endurance, of stillness, of peace. You float among them now. The whale's hum reaches your chest. The shark's smooth motion calms your mind. The squid's glowing arms sway like strands of thought, light and free. Everything moves in slow harmony, as if the whole deep sea is breathing with you. There's no rush in the deep, no past, no future. Only this moment, vast, silent, and alive. You realize that peace does not mean being still. It means moving gently through whatever surrounds you. The giants of the deep know this. They do not resist the dark. They glide through it, trusting the sea to carry them. You let yourself drift too. The weight of the world fades. Your heartbeat slows. You are part of this calm now, part of the ocean's quiet dream. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Imagine yourself sinking softly toward the ocean floor. The water grows warmer, calmer, and the light becomes a pale blue haze. When you reach the bottom, you find a world that never truly sleeps, a place where even the sun seems alive, whispering softly beneath the waves. The seabed stretches endlessly, smooth in some places, rippled in others, shaped by the slow rhythm of the water above. It looks still, but when you look closer, you see that it moves, tiny grains sliding and rolling with every current, shifting like thoughts in a quiet mind. The sand is never completely still. It drifts, rearranges, breathes. Each grain carries a story. Broken shells, pieces of coral, fragments of time worn smooth by the sea. Together, they make the soft floor that cradles the ocean's life. When the water flows over them, they move in unison, creating faint sounds that no ear can quite catch, the ocean's smallest song. A gentle rustle, a sigh, a whisper too light for words. The waves above press down gently, not harshly, just enough to remind the sand that it is alive. When the tide shifts, the seabed listens. It feels the moon's pull through the water, a delicate tug that makes it stay. Even the floor of the ocean feels that rhythm, a slow, steady pulse that keeps the world in balance. You can see trails across the sand where small creatures have passed, a crab's careful steps, the tiny pattern of a fish's fins brushing the floor, the winding mark of an eel moving like a ribbon. Life here is quiet, patient. It leaves no noise, only traces, only movement so soft that it feels like breathing. Sometimes, when the current changes, the sand lifts for a moment, a small cloud rising, glittering like golden dust. Then it settles again, forming new patterns, new paths. Nothing here is fixed, yet nothing is lost. Everything changes slowly, peacefully, forever. You reach out and imagine touching the seabed. It feels cool and fine, slipping easily through your fingers. It doesn't resist. It flows, it yields, it accepts. The sand teaches the same calm as the water above, to move, to let go, to rest where you are needed. In some places, sunlight reaches as far, turning the surface into a soft dance of light. The ripples of brightness move gently, painting shifting shapes across the sand. The sea breathes above, and the floor responds below, an endless conversation between water and earth. You can almost feel the exhale of the ocean, the rise and fall of its slow breathing. Tiny bubbles rise from the floor, released by hidden life beneath. They float upward, glinting like pearls, each one carrying a fragment of the sea's quiet air. The sound of their escape is soft, almost like a sigh. The sand releases them gently, as if the ocean itself is exhaling in sleep. The deeper you listen, the more you realize that silence here isn't empty. It's full of movement too small to see. The grains shift, the water hums, the floor sighs. Even the stillness breathes. You float above it all, feeling the calm below you, the slow pulse of life that continues unseen. Every particle, every grain, every breath of sand reminds you that peace doesn't mean stopping. It means moving so softly that it feels like stillness. The seabed whispers to you now, a sound you can't quite hear but can always feel. A message from the earth itself. Rest, you are part of this rhythm. You are safe here. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Imagine one tiny drop of ocean water resting on the surface of the sea. It glimmers softly beneath the light of the sun, rocking gently with the waves. It seems still, but inside it holds a secret, the quiet promise of a journey that never truly ends. The drop warms under the soft light, and slowly it begins to rise. It doesn't struggle. It simply lets go, lifted upward by warmth and wind. It drifts higher and higher, light as a sigh, leaving the sea behind for now. As it rises through the air, it joins countless other drops, forming a cloud, a soft, white garden floating in the blue sky. Together, they travel across the world, moved by the breath of the wind. From above, the ocean looks endless. The drop remembers its home, but it is not afraid. It knows it will return. For now, it becomes part of something greater, a drifting veil that shades a land below. The air around it is cool and free. The drop feels lighter than it ever has before, carried wherever the wind decides, without worry, without resistance. Soon, the air cools, and the cloud begins to gather its strength. The drops come closer, touching, holding hands in silence. They grow heavier, their journey turning downward once again. The drop falls softly through the air, tumbling past light and wind, falling toward the waiting earth. It lands on a green leaf, resting there for a moment, shining like a small crystal. Then it slides down, slipping to the ground, joining others to form a tiny stream. The stream hums gently, running over stones and soil, winding its way towards something familiar. The drop feels the pull again, that same gentle calling from the sea. The stream becomes a river, and the drop moves faster now, carried by the water's song. It flows through valleys and forests, past roots and rocks, always forward, always downward. Along the way, it touches everything, plants, animals, air, giving life wherever it goes. It listens to the soft music of the world, and the world listens back. Finally, the river meets the ocean again. The drop feels the salt on its surface, the vastness of home. It drifts out, back into the great body of blue it came from, welcomed as if it had never left. The sea embraces it gently, folding it into its rhythm. Rise, fall, flow, rest. The drop's journey is complete, yet it has only begun again. The sun will lift it once more. The wind will carry it. The rain will return it. It will travel across mountains, deserts, forests, and waves, always moving, always returning. It never stops, yet it is never lost. You can feel its calm rhythm now, that endless cycle, rising, falling, returning, resting. The drop doesn't fight its path. It trusts the world to carry it exactly where it needs to go. Each part of the journey has its own piece. The warmth of the sun, the quiet of the clouds, the song of the rain, the depth of the sea. You are like that drop carried by life's gentle current. Sometimes rising, sometimes falling, always finding your way back to calm. The ocean waits, always patient, always forgiving, ready to receive its children again. It holds a drop in its great blue arms and whispers, "Welcome home." The water settles, the waves soften, the world breathes. The cycle continues, eternal, quiet, and full of grace. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Imagine a quiet underwater world, wrapped in the stillness of night. The water moves softly, carrying only the faintest echo of waves above. Light from the moon filters down in gentle ribbons, touching the coral and the sand, then fading into darkness. Hey, in this calm and endless blue, the fish are resting. They do not sleep the way we do. They do not close their eyes, for they have no eyelids. Yet they rest all the same, motionless, floating quietly between dreams. Their eyes remain half open, watching nothing, their bodies rocking gently in the rhythm of the sea. The world around them has slowed to a whisper. Some fish hover in place, their fins moving just enough to keep them balanced. Others tuck themselves into coral crevices or beneath soft seaweed, hidden from the drifting current. They choose the same safe spaces each night, returning to them as we return to our beds. The ocean knows how to cradle them, holding them steady, protecting them from harm. In the darkness, even their colors fade. The bright blues, golds, and reds of daytime soften into gray and silver. It is as though the fish wear night clothes of shadow, blending into the water around them. Their hearts beat slower. Their breathing eases. The sea sings its lullaby, the low hum of current, the gentle sound of water pressing softly against rock and shell. Schools of fish that once flashed and shimmered in the sunlight now drift together in calm unison. Their movements are perfectly timed, each one trusting the next. They float side by side, moving only when the current asks them to. It is a kind of sleep that belongs only to the sea, a living dream where rest and motion blend together. In deeper waters, some fish sink toward the sand, letting the cool darkness wrap around them. They rest with the soft weight of the water pressing gently against their scales. Others hide near coral gardens, sheltered by branches and shadows. The sea becomes their blanket, warm in its stillness, protective in its vastness. Even the great fish, the ones that travel long distances, find ways to rest. Some let half their mind sleep while the other half stays awake, guiding them slowly through the water. They drift through the dark, their bodies gliding without thought, like travelers dreaming while still moving forward. Above them, the stars shimmer faintly on the surface. Their light ripples downward, and for a moment, it feels as if the sea is filled with 1,000 tiny moons. The fish rest beneath this glowing sky of water, surrounded by calm light and endless peace. Every breath the ocean takes, they feel it. When the tide rises, they rise slightly too. When it falls, they sink. They do not resist. They trust the rhythm completely, a rhythm that has existed since the first fish opened its eyes. In that trust lies their peace. The darkness of the sea is not frightening to them. It is familiar, gentle, full of comfort. It keeps them hidden, quiet, and safe. You can almost feel their stillness in your own body now, that weightless calm, that quiet surrender to rest. The ocean itself seems asleep beside them, its vast body moving in slow, steady breaths. Every wave above is a heartbeat, every current below a lullaby. And so the fish float, eyes half open, minds half dreaming, surrounded by the endless softness of the deep. They sleep not by closing themselves off, but by opening completely to the peace around them. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Imagine a world of soft blue light, calm and endless. The water is still, and in that stillness, shapes begin to move, slow, graceful, almost invisible. They are jellyfish, drifting quietly through the deep. They do not swim. They do not rush. They simply exist, floating as though time itself has slowed down to watch them. Their bodies are clear and delicate, like thin silk caught in water. They pulse gently, expanding, contracting, the quiet rhythm of life at its simplest. With each movement, they rise and fall, gliding in slow motion. Around them, the deep blue glows faintly, and their soft light shimmer through it like tiny lanterns in a midnight sky. Some glow with the palest gold, others with soft pink or ghostly silver. Their light is not bright, but alive, breathing, shifting, fading, returning. The ocean around them seems to hold its breath as they pass. You can almost feel it, the stillness, the silence, the beauty that asks for nothing. Jellyfish have no heart, no bones, no thoughts as we know them, yet they move with a kind of wisdom. They follow the current without fear, trusting it completely. The water carries them wherever it wishes, and they never resist. They let go, they drift. In their surrender, there is peace. You watch one glide past you, its bell-shaped body pulsing softly. With each movement, it glows for a moment, then fades again into blue. Its long, flowing tentacles trail behind like silk ribbons, curling and twisting in the water. They catch the faintest bits of light, making small constellations that shimmer and disappear. There is no sound here, only motion, slow, patient, eternal. The jellyfish move together like clouds across a quiet sky, each one floating in its own rhythm. They do not hurry to reach anywhere. They have no need to. They are part of the ocean's dream, gentle, endless, weightless. Sometimes, a soft current passes through, and they all drift together in one direction, a slow dance led by the sea. It looks like breathing, the ocean inhaling and exhaling, and the jellyfish moving with it. Each pulse, each drift, each shimmer of light is a reminder how simple peace can be. Their bodies are almost invisible, yet they catch the light in ways nothing else can. The edges of their forms glow faintly, bending the water around them. You can't tell where one ends and the other begins. It feels like watching time dissolve, like floating inside a living dream. You drift close and see that their glow flickers in patterns, small flashes like the rhythm of thought. But there's no worry, no sound, no urgency, just slow, patient presence. The ocean hums around them in low, steady waves, and the jellyfish drift as though the sea itself is thinking softly through them. If you listen closely, you can almost hear the silence, deep and full, like a heartbeat slowed to stillness. It's the kind of silence that doesn't ask you to stop, it just invites you to float. The jellyfish do not struggle to stay alive. They simply trust the flow, and it carries them exactly where they need to go. You can feel that same rhythm now, your breath rising and falling, your thoughts drifting softly, your body feeling lighter. Like the jellyfish, you are weightless, safe, and calm. The world around you moves in gentle waves, holding you without pressure, without noise. The deep blue glows faintly, and time feels far away. There is only the drift, the quiet light, and the peace of letting go. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Imagine sinking to the very bottom of the sea, down past the light, past the color, past the world of motion and noise. You reach a place so still and soft that it feels like you have entered a dream. The ocean floor lies before you, dark and endless, stretching farther than sight can go. Yet within that darkness, there is beauty, quiet, strange, and full of peace. The sand here is fine and smooth, untouched by light for thousands of years. It moves only when the water asks it to, shifting gently, almost invisibly. Each grain seems half asleep, waiting for time to pass, though time means nothing here. The deep is beyond it, a world where everything moves too slowly to be seen. You watch as a small cloud of silt rises, floating upward like smoke, then settling again with perfect calm. Even the water feels thicker here, heavier, like a dream you can't quite wake from. The current is soft but steady, touching everything with careful hands, coral bones, shells, and stones polished by centuries of silence. Strange creatures live here, quiet and patient. A slow-moving crab steps carefully across the sand, leaving a perfect trail behind. A pale fish glides past, its body shining faintly in the dark, like a lost star that forgot to rise. From a small hole, a worm unfurls itself, glowing softly for a moment before curling back into sleep. Everything in the deep sea moves with purpose, but that purpose is never hurried. Even sound feels different here. It travels slowly, as if unsure it should disturb the stillness. You might hear the distant hum of a whale far above, or the soft crack of rock as the earth breathes deep below. The rest is quiet, a kind of silence so full it feels alive. The ocean is not empty here. It is thinking, dreaming, remembering. The floor of the deep sea feels sacred, like the memory of something ancient. The weight of water above presses gently on everything, creating a soft embrace. There is no chaos, no sharp edges, only smoothness, patience, and peace. The creatures that live here have learned to glow softly instead of burn brightly, to move slowly instead of rush, to live within the dream instead of trying to wake from it. You drift through this world, feeling its calm seep into you. The darkness is not frightening, it feels protective, endless, safe. It's the kind of dark that lets the mind rest, the kind that holds you like a lullaby. You imagine lying upon the ocean floor, weightless but steady. The sand feels cool beneath you, the water above hums softly, and your thoughts move as slowly as the creatures that pass. There is no beginning here, and no end, only a slow, eternal motion that feels like breathing in sleep. Occasionally, a faint light flickers in the distance, a jellyfish, perhaps, or the soft shimmer of plankton stirred by an unseen current. Each glow fades gently, leaving behind darkness as calm as before. Even beauty here knows how to rest. You realize that this is what dreams are made of. Darkness that comforts instead of hides, silence that listens instead of scays, movement so soft it feels like stillness. The ocean's floor is a dream the earth keeps to itself, deep, slow, and kind. You breathe in, and it feels like the sea is breathing with you. Everything around you, the sand, the water, the creatures, the dark, moves together in one soft rhythm. A dream without urgency, a world without sound. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Imagine the sunlight touching the ocean surface, scattering into ripples of gold. It dances for a moment, bright, warm, full of life, and then begins its long journey downward. With each foot it travels, it fades a little more, softening from white to silver, from silver to blue, from blue to shadow. The deeper it goes, the quieter it becomes, until all that remains is a whisper of light, gentle, slow, and disappearing. The ocean gathers that fading glow, holding it tenderly, then letting it go. The light doesn't vanish all at once. It drifts like a dream dissolving. Down here, the colors fade first. Reds go before all others, then oranges, then yellows, each one surrendering to the deep. What remains is a calm, endless blue that stretches around you like silence. The sea takes the light, not to steal it, but to soften it, to turn it into peace. You drift lower, following the last trace of sun. Above you, the surface glows faintly, as if seen through glass. Below you, the darkness grows thicker, but it is not cold or cruel. It feels like velvet, soft, smooth, endless. The water wraps around you, heavy yet gentle, comforting in its embrace. You can no longer see the sun, but you can still feel its warmth lingering in memory, the way you feel a lullaby even after the song has ended. Here, the light becomes something else, not brightness, but presence. It hides inside the water, woven into every drop. Even in the deepest places, something of the sun remains, invisible but alive. It hums quietly in the darkness, a memory that refuses to fade. Creatures drift in their half-light, shapes barely seen, moving slowly, like thoughts floating through sleep. Their skin glows faintly, as if they've swallowed the last bit of sunlight and kept it safe within them. They shimmer in blues and silvers, their bodies catching even the smallest glint that remains. The ocean gives them this gift, the ability to make their own light when the world above can no longer reach them. You watch as one fish glides past, glowing softly along its edges. It moves without hurry, without fear. The darkness around it feels like calm water and deep breath. No threat, no sound, just stillness. You realize that even in the absence of light, there's a strange beauty, a peace that belongs only to the deep. Far above, the last rays of the sun fade completely. The sea closes over them, not in sadness, but in rest. The day ends, and the deep begins. Everything slows. The world becomes quiet. The darkness that remains is not empty. It's full of softness, of weight, of quiet strength. The water feels thick here, like velvet pressed against your skin. It muffles every sound, every thought. Your heartbeat slows to match the rhythm of the sea. The darkness wraps around you gently, not to hide you, but to keep you safe. You realize that the ocean doesn't fear the absence of light. It becomes its own kind of light through stillness. Above, the world is bright and restless. Down here, it is dark and peaceful. The two are not enemies. They complete each other, like night and day, breath and rest, thought and silence. You float in this deep velvet calm, feeling yourself dissolve into it. No edge, no weight, no need for sight. The light is gone, but peace remains, endless and soft. The darkness hums quietly, like a heartbeat beneath everything, like the earth dreaming. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Imagine a world at the edge of silence, where the sea was a blanket of ice. Above, the Arctic night stretches wide and pale, the stars frozen in place, their light reflected on a sheet of endless white. Beneath that frozen ceiling, the ocean waits, calm, cold, and still. Yet even here, beneath miles of ice, life moves gently, quietly, as if time itself is slowed to listen. You drift downward, through cracks in the ice where faint light filters through. It glows blue and soft, like light seen through glass. The water beneath is clear, pure, untouched. It feels ancient, older than memory. Every movement here is slow, the kind of motion that can only belong to places where the world has learned to rest. Small fish glide through the stillness, their bodies pale and silver, their eyes wide but calm. They do not rush. They move with the rhythm of the deep cold, each breath a quiet ripple in the frozen sea. Some carry a faint glow, their scales shimmering softly as they pass through the shadows, leaving behind trails of blue-green light that fade as quickly as a sigh. The ice above creaks and groans from time to time, like an old wooden door opening somewhere far away. The sound travels through the water, low and slow, echoing like the heartbeat of the planet itself. It's not frightening, it's steady, patient, eternal. The ice breathes, expanding and resting, shaping the sea below with each quiet motion. Along the seafloor, small gardens of life persist in the cold. Tiny anemones wave their soft arms, catching what little the water offers. Worms and starfish move across the sand, their paws measured and sure. Each one has adapted to the darkness, to the cold, to the weight of time. There is no rush to survive here. Everything simply is. You imagine drifting through this frozen world, weightless and free. The water feels thick, like silk touched by frost. Every sound is muffled, every movement slow. The faint light from above seems to hang in the water like mist, soft, unhurried, timeless. Even your thoughts move slower here, matching the steady pulse of the sea. Occasionally, a seal passes overhead, its shadow sliding across the ice ceiling. It glides effortlessly, a silent traveler between two worlds. When it exhales, tiny bubbles rise and cling to the ice before bursting softly, the sound barely more than a whisper. In the distance, you can sense the presence of whales, their deep calls softened by the cold, long notes that travel through miles of frozen water, like songs sent through time. The ocean beneath ice feels like a secret dream, one that the world keeps hidden, quiet and beautiful. The cold doesn't take life away. It simply slows it down until everything becomes gentle, careful, eternal. You look upward one last time, toward the ceiling of ice glowing faintly from the stars above. The patterns of cracks and frost look like constellations frozen in motion. The sea mirrors the sky, two infinities touching through layers of silence. Here, nothing breaks the calm. Every ripple is soft, every sound a whisper, every breath of life a reminder that peace can live even in the coldest places. The Arctic Sea sleeps but never dies. It hums softly beneath its frozen blanket, dreaming slow, endless dreams. You feel that same stillness now, deep, ancient, steady, the kind of peace that doesn't ask for warmth, only quiet, the kind that makes you feel part of something vast and kind. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Imagine yourself floating in the middle of the open ocean, where there is no shore, no direction, no sound but the slow heartbeat of the sea. The water is calm, and the horizon fades into a soft blur. You cannot tell where the sky ends or where the ocean begins. They are one. Hey, time does not move the way it does on land. One moment stretches out like a long, gentle wave, flowing endlessly without hurry, without end. You float, and the world around you feels still. The surface glimmers faintly in the light, each ripple moving so slowly that you can barely see it change. The ocean holds you like a cradle, rocking you in silence. You lose track of minutes, of hours. The sea does not count time. It only breathes. Beneath you, the deep moves in a rhythm so vast that it feels eternal. Currents rise and fall like dreams passing through sleep. The water hums with quiet life, distant echoes of whales, faint pulses of fish moving far below, all blending into one endless sound. It's not noise, it's a voice of time itself, stretched thin and peaceful. You take a slow breath, and even your breathing begins to match that rhythm. In, out, in, out. The seconds between breaths feel long and soft. You realize that underwater, time becomes fluid. It bends and drifts, following no rule but calm. A single movement, a ripple, a sound, a blink, seems to last forever. The ocean remembers everything, yet it never rushes. A wave that began days ago still moves somewhere across the water's face. A current that started centuries past still flows through the deep. Nothing here is truly gone. Everything continues in slow circles. The drift of the tide, the pull of the moon, the rise of the sun, all part of the same quiet pattern. You look upward and see the sunlight spreading gently through the water. It moves slowly, dancing on invisible waves. The light never hurries. It takes its time to reach you, touching your skin in faint gold. It feels like eternity pressed into a single moment, bright, brief, infinite. Even the smallest things here move as though they have all the time in the world. A leaf of seaweed drifts past, turning lazily. A bubble rises in a slow spiral, catching bits of light before disappearing. A tiny fish floats, hovering, suspended between motion and rest. Everything moves just enough, no more, no less. The longer you stay here, the less you remember the world above. The ticking clocks, the rushing hours, the weight of days. The sea takes them all away. Down here, there's only now. The past has melted into it. The future has not yet arrived. There's only this breath, this calm, this slow drift through blue infinity. You feel yourself loosening, like a knot untying in water. The ocean's rhythm seeps into you, patient, eternal, unchanging. The stillness feels full, not empty. It holds every heartbeat that ever was, every breath that ever will be. You close your eyes, and the sea carries you as if you were part of its timeless flow. There is no beginning, no end, just a soft, endless drift. Each heartbeat stretches into forever. Each moment glows with peace. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Imagine the sea after sunset, still, deep, and full of mystery. The sun has slipped below the horizon, and darkness spreads over the water like a soft blanket. But beneath that darkness, the ocean begins to wake in a new way. When the surface world sleeps, the night sea comes alive with quiet light. At first, it seems empty, black water stretching in every direction. Then, a faint sparkle appears. Then another, and another. Tiny lights bloom in the dark, floating upward like stars rising through water. These are the quiet creatures of the night sea, glowing, delicate, and full of wonder. Millions of tiny plankton drift together, each one carrying its own faint glow. When the water moves, they shimmer all at once, creating trails of blue light that twist and curl through the deep. The sea becomes a sky turned upside down, a dreamland of stars, alive and moving. Every wave that passes overhead stays another wave of light, so soft and beautiful that it feels like the ocean is breathing in color. A jellyfish drifts nearby, its body pulsing with soft silver light. Its glow fades and brightens again, like the rhythm of sleep. Small fish dart through the glowing clouds, leaving bright paths behind them, their scales catching the light, reflecting it, carrying it farther into the dark. None of them make a sound. Everything moves in silence. Some creatures rise from the depths just for this moment, shy beings who only show themselves in the dark. Lanternfish shimmer faintly as they rise in great numbers, their bodies glittering like distant constellations. Squid follow them upward, their skin glowing and fading in gentle patterns. The deep sea hums with quiet life, but not a single voice disturbs the calm. The surface above glows faintly under the stars, and for a moment, it feels as though the sky and sea are one. The stars above and the glowing creatures below mirror each other perfectly, two worlds reflecting light, separated only by a thin line of water. You float among them, surrounded by tiny stars that move and breathe. Each one flickers softly, never harsh, never still. The lights drift around you in long, flowing trails, like galaxies spinning slowly in blue. Time feels distant here, as if each glowing moment could last forever. Even the larger creatures move gently through this glowing world. A soft shadow passes, perhaps a ray gliding through the light, its wings stirring 1,000 sparks as it goes. The water swirls behind it in glowing curls, fading as quickly as dreams. Every motion here leaves beauty behind, but never noise. The ocean at night is quiet, not empty. It's full of whispers, soft currents, faint pulses of movement, the gentle flicker of light against light. Every glow tells a small story of life continuing in peace. You breathe slowly, matching the rhythm of the sea. In this stillness, you feel weightless, as if you too are one of these quiet lights, floating in endless calm. The world above is asleep, and the world below dreams in color. The night sea glows softly around you, each pulse of light fading into the next. It feels alive, ancient, and endlessly kind, a lullaby written in light instead of sound. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Imagine yourself sitting by the edge of the sea. The tide moves in and out with a slow, steady rhythm, like breathing made visible. The air is cool and smells faintly of salt and life. You listen, and something inside you begins to soften. The ocean speaks, not with words, but with sound, the same sound that has echoed for millions of years. It fills your mind, settles your thoughts, and slows everything that was once hurried inside you. Each wave that reaches the shore rises, curls, and falls, releasing a gentle sigh as it fades back into the water. This rhythm is not random. It follows patterns as old as the earth, steady, balanced, endless. When you listen, your body remembers that rhythm. Your heart begins to beat a little slower. Your breathing grows deep and calm. The muscles in your face and shoulders loosen without effort. Science tells us that this is not imagination. The sound of the ocean truly changes the way the brain behaves. Waves move in a frequency that resembles the body's natural rhythms, about the same pace as our breathing when we are relaxed. When your brain hears this, it mirrors it. The pattern of your brain waves shift from fast and restless to slow and peaceful. The sea teaches your body to rest. You can almost feel your thoughts quieting, one by one, like pebbles settling at the bottom of a tide pool. The busy parts of your mind, the ones that worry, plan, or remember too much, begin to fade. What remains is something older, simpler, more peaceful. The ocean speaks directly to that part of you, the one that understands calm without needing words. When you breathe in, the air from the sea fills your lungs with tiny traces of salt and moisture. Studies say that ocean air is rich in negative ions, invisible particles that help your body release tension and improve oxygen flow. But you don't need to think of it that way. You only need to feel it. The freshness of each breath, the way it clears the mind like a gentle breeze through an open window. The more you listen, the more your body synchronizes with the water. Your pulse follows the rhythm of the tide. Your thoughts move like waves, rising, breaking softly, disappearing. The sea doesn't demand your attention, it guides it. Its sound creates a space between thoughts, a pause where peace can enter. Your brain, usually busy and bright with motion, begins to rest. The parts that handle stress and decision-making grow quiet. The parts that create calm and safety begin to glow. The ocean, with its endless repetition, tells the brain that everything is stable, that nothing dangerous waits ahead. And so your body listens. It lets go. Even the color of the sea has its own language of calm. Blue light is known to ease the mind, to slow the heart rate, to remind us of open skies and quiet depths. When you gaze at the ocean, your eyes relax, your focus softens. You stop trying to see sharply. You simply look, and your mind drifts with the horizon. It's no wonder that people come to the sea when they need to think, or when they need to stop thinking altogether. The water doesn't judge. It doesn't rush. It offers endless movement that asks for nothing in return. The ocean listens more than it speaks, and in doing so, it teaches you how to listen to yourself. The heartbeat of the earth and your own begin to sound the same. When a wave retreats, you exhale. When another comes forward, you breathe in. The balance feels perfect, like two rhythms merging into one. It's not just relaxation, it's remembrance. A quiet reminder that you, too, came from water, that peace is not something foreign, but something that lives inside you still. You close your eyes. The sound of the sea fills the space between your thoughts. Each wave wipes away what no longer needs to stay. The noise, the worry, the weight of the day. In their place comes stillness, the kind that feels soft and endless, like floating. The science of calm and the poetry of peace meet here, at the water's edge. The brain slows, the heart steadies, the body forgets how to fight and learns again how to rest. The ocean doesn't teach you how to escape life. It shows you how to return to it, gently, slowly, like a tide coming home. You breathe again, in perfect rhythm with the waves. The sea keeps breathing with you, endless and kind, reminding you that peace is not far away, it is already within you. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Imagine yourself floating on calm water. The sea is smooth and quiet, stretching endlessly in every direction. The sky above you is soft and pale, a mixture of fading night and rising dawn. You are weightless here, suspended between sea and sky, between dreams and waking. The water holds you gently, supporting every part of you, and the world feels still. There is no need to move. The sea moves for you, lifting and lowering you in a rhythm so slow, so careful, that you almost can't tell where one motion ends and the next begins. The waves breathe, and you breathe with them. In and out, in and out. The air is cool against your face, the water warm beneath you, and together they create a perfect balance, light and heavy, near and far, real and unreal. Above you, a few clouds drift lazily across the morning sky. Their reflections shimmer faintly on the water's surface, so that when you look up, it feels as though you are seeing two skies, one above and one below, and you float in the quiet space between them. Every sound is soft. The sea whispers around your ears, the wind hums gently through the open air, and the rhythm of the waves hums beneath it all like a slow, endless song. You are not alone here. The ocean itself feels awake, aware, breathing alongside you. Each tiny ripple is a gentle touch, reminding you that you are safe. The world beneath is deep and calm, and though you cannot see its floor, you trust it completely. The sea knows how to hold you. It has done so for every creature that ever floated, every traveler that ever paused to rest. Time fades away here. You are not sure if this is morning or night, not sure if minutes or hours pass. The light on the horizon shifts slowly, like a thought you can almost catch but never quite reach. It glows gold for a moment, then fades back to blue. It doesn't matter. The world moves at its own pace, and you move with it, part of its breath, part of its dream. The air smells faintly of salt and sunlight. The taste of the ocean touches your lips, cool, clean, alive. You take another breath, slow and deep, and it feels as though your lungs fill with peace instead of air. With each exhale, you release something, a thought, a worry, a sound, until all that's left is quiet. You let your arms drift out beside you. The water slides past your fingers like silk. Tiny ripples spread outward, meeting the sea's larger rhythm, then fading away. Even your smallest motion feels connected to everything around you, as if the sea itself notices and answers softly in return. The space between waking and dreaming is a delicate one. It is where the mind begins to loosen, where the body remembers how to rest. You are floating in that space now, not asleep, not awake, just being. Thoughts appear and disappear like fish in the water, each one slow, harmless, brief. You don't need to chase them. You only watch them drift by. The sea moves beneath you like a gentle cradle. Its sound grows deeper, lower, slower, as if the ocean is humming a lullaby meant only for you. The waves no longer rise or fall. They pulse, steady and kind. You can almost feel the heartbeat of the world beneath you, slow and powerful, keeping time with your own. You realize that this floating, this weightless peace, is something ancient, something you've always known. It's the same comfort that once held you before you were born, the same rhythm that taught the world how to rest. You are not separate from it. You are part of it, made from it. The ocean carries you as if it remembers you. The light shifts again. The horizon glows softly with the first hint of day, but you don't need to open your eyes. You feel it more than you see it, that slow warmth spreading across the sky, across your face, across the water that holds you. The night is leaving, but it's not in a hurry. It lingers, brushing softly against the dawn, like two dreams touching hands before parting. You float in that moment, where light and dark meet, where sleep and waking blend. The waves keep moving, but you barely notice them now. They are part of you, and you are part of them. The sound of the world is faded into a low hum, the sound of your own heart mixing with the heartbeat of the sea. You are safe here. The water will hold you. The air will fill you. The horizon will wait for you. You can stay as long as you wish, floating between dreams and waves, between everything and nothing. The sea moves once more beneath you, one long, slow rise, one gentle fall, as if it's breathing you into stillness. The edges of the world blur, the light softens, and all that remains is calm. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Imagine the sea stretching endlessly around you, calm, infinite, and glowing with the last light of a dying sunset. The sky fades into indigo, the horizon melts into shadow, and the ocean sighs in rhythm with your breath. The day has ended, but the sea is not truly dark. It glimmers faintly, as though it remembers the sun. The air is cool, the waves gentle. Each rise and fall feels like the slow heartbeat of the earth itself. You are floating once again, weightless and quiet. The water carries you easily, no effort, no resistance. Your body begins to dissolve into the calm, not disappearing, but blending, becoming part of the rhythm around you. The boundary between you and the sea grows thin, until you can no longer tell where your skin ends and the ocean begins. The water is you now. The ocean breathes, and you breathe with it. Beneath you, the deep hums softly. It's not sound in the way you know it, its vibration, a low, endless pulse that feels like memory. The ocean remembers everything. The birth of stars reflected on its surface, the first drops of rain that ever fell upon the earth, the long silence before life began. All of that memory hums quietly through the water, and now through you. You begin to drift downward, sinking slowly, gently, as if the sea is inviting you home. The light fades, but the darkness feels kind, wrapping around you like soft velvet. You are surrounded by motion, but everything moves too slowly to disturb the peace. Small particles drift past, tiny flecks of light from the surface above, falling like snow in an eternal dream. The deeper you go, the quieter it becomes. Even your thoughts seem to float away, rising toward the surface where they disappear. What remains is a soft awareness, peaceful, weightless, endless. The water presses against you, not heavily, but lovingly, like a warm blanket. You are safe here. You are home. Far below, the ocean floor stretches into shadow, smooth plains, ridges, and valleys carved by time itself. The world down here is older than mountains, older than memory. It does not speak, but it listens. You can feel it, the stillness, the patience, the quiet heart of the planet beating beneath you. All around, the deep glows faintly with its own hidden light. Jellyfish drift like ghosts of moonlight, pulsing gently through the water. Strange fish glide slowly by, their bodies shining with soft blue fire. Even in this darkness, life persists, calm, graceful, silent. The ocean sleeps, but it never stops dreaming.